This is a replay of Cr1t playing Mirana support. He is either roaming or laning. I'm not yet sure of what his gameplay will be, but we're going to be spectating him, seeing how he does in this game, and also how to play Mirana support. Mirana support has been very popular in the past year, but during that time I wasn't really playing, so I would love to see what kind of things that they would do. This game, he goes for the Blightstone start. He's got a Tango and a Flask, two clarities. He's got a lot of regen available to him. He actually starts off by arrowing the range creep. So this pretty much guarantees in the lane that his Slaughter will get the range creep along with himself. And then he goes and pulls the wave. So we see this a lot. It's very popular in European pubs games where they always pull the second wave into, in front of the tower, so to make sure that the offlaner has a game no matter what, instead of having the lane up here. And at the same time, if you saw when he was pulling the creeps, he also blocked the small camp at the here he just throws out an arrow and just be a little bit annoying with the Monkey King, and the Sauter in the meantime is just completely free farming on the right side. Yes, I'd say free farm, but it's still a very hard lane here. He's just chucking arrows out, hitting the Monkey King, just seeing wherever he has an opportunity to just be annoying in the lane. And we can see what he's doing with the Blightstone, right? He just keeps hitting the monkey and being super annoying. Because Monkey King is really weak against these ranged supports. And Mirana is a really good hero. And one thing to note is that a lot of Miranas will be running mid lane and bottom lane and trying to arrow all the time. Look how Cr1t plays Mirana. He's just staying bottom. He's just making sure that he can secure the offlaner's game. When you play support, it's really bad if you're roaming around a lot in the early, especially in the first 3-4 minutes, where it's the most crucial part of a laning stage. Whether you will know whether you win your lane or you lose your lane from that. So if you roam around the first 2 minutes and then you come back bottom lane, there's a very good chance your lane is already lost and there's nothing to help anymore. And here he's just helping the Sauter deny, get last hits, hitting the monkey wherever he can. Sauter gets a stun on him, and then now this Monkey King is really having a tough time in his bot lane. Now his last hits aren't too bad, but if you look at his regen, he's only got 1 Tango left. And he doesn't have any stats whatsoever. So he's pretty annoyed. If you're a Monkey King in this game and you have a lane like this, you're not going to feel super good, although you are fighting another melee core hero. And again, 4 minutes have passed, he never left to go to the mid lane, because he wants to make sure that he can screw this monkey up, and if he does leave the lane, the Sauter will just get completely demolished in the bottom lane. So he doesn't want that happening. And here, every time he has a chance, leaping in, just doing some damage, arrowing, and because the lane's up here and there's no pull camps at the moment, he's unable to pull into the creep wave up here. Here he's just sitting in the trees waiting for the opportunity to cast another arrow. And here he dies. He had no regen left, but I don't think he feels super bad. It's 150 gold in exchange for getting 4 resources on his HP and mana there. But I think he was was he sitting on a ward here? Yeah, he was sitting on a ward, so the enemy just saw him. I think, honestly, he should have bought a sentry right away and brought it bottom and dewarded it. So now that it's 5 minutes, bounty runes are about to spawn, and Sauter is okay now, right? He's got some decent amount of levels, much better than if he was solo bottom. And he's decided to just go TP top lane, see if the axe is creep skipping again. He can arrow him, but because the axe left, his TP top was a little bit wasted, but that's okay. He's got a ward and a sentry now. He's going to wrap around, still go to the axe, try to be annoying to him now. Got it. Doesn't really find much. Sentries this side to see if there's any vision. Before he plants his ward, and nothing is really happening. Here he tries an arrow on the OD, doesn't hit. As of right now, his laning is very normal as to how any support should play. And this is where the roaming has started, and as of right now, for the last minute and a half, it hasn't been too successful, but he has put a lot of mental pressure on the enemy. For example, this Faceless Void has completely free farm top, pushed the lane out with the catapult, and the axe couldn't go back here and kill all the creep waves because the Mirana was missing off the map. And now he's gone into the enemy jungle and is pressuring this axe, and the axe can't farm anywhere anymore. So that's huge. On top of that, the OD saw the arrow middle and knows that, especially without any vision on the left side for him, this arrow could always come to hit him. There's a lot of mental pressure being applied here. And now he just kills... Now he's trying to help kill this tower top lane. But Radiant bring 3 heroes here. Cr1t dies. That's alright. Oh, tower does get denied in the end, unfortunately. And he'll just TP back bottom. So he brought 3 people top lane, or his team did. And now because there's 3 people there, he decides to go bottom where the supports aren't. So he can try to outnumber the enemy. Goes mid. Pop gets Maledited, doesn't get the rune. And Cr1t's getting hunted again. Poor Cr1t. Here comes an arrow, lands on the tusk. He's just looking for the angles to arrow when they're going on his teammates. Face's Void is here now. Got 1 more leap into Chrono ready. And that's a huge play. And 4 heroes suddenly mid lane, getting 2 core kills. Absolutely big for Dire here. And that's really nice, like, to call your teammates when the enemy's like really out of position and just get these good kills out. So he buys arcane boots. They got boots, they got magic stick boots, and then goes arcane boots. Is really helpful to his team. He doesn't need to go some kind of a carry build or anything like that, because he's got 3 carries pretty much: Slaughter, Queen of Pain, and the Face's Void. And now he's playing bottom lane with the Slaughter and the Void, just making sure that nobody here can stay and get any experience, and they can just get the tower. Banners are up, gets his tome, so he's the one about the tome. Arrows the big camp, gets some free experience there. Gets his tome, now he's level 6, instantly casts his ultimate. So here, there was this OD that the Queen of Pain wants to go for. So he casts ulti and just getting everybody invis on the map, getting into a better position on the map without them seeing him. And now they find an axe here. Arrow doesn't connect, so it's not a kill. Now if any of these arrows, like, since he's in the right place at the right time, do land, it's always going to be a kill. Here the axe gets arrowed, and then he can't they can't even kill the Queen of Pain because the axe got arrowed, and instead it's actually the axe who dies, and his OD almost dying as well. Very close. And he actually maxes out the arrow, so it's a longer stun, which is interesting. Back when I was playing Mirana, arrow always had 5-second stun no matter what, right? And you always max out your Starstorm so you can get more creep waves pushed out. So here his teammates getting died, he instantly reacts to the top lane to help his team. It just kind of feels like he's everywhere on this map, honestly. And because he reacted to that, he gets this huge XP boost from killing this core Monkey King, which is really nice. And nobody else on his team actually reacted to it. And now he's running back from top to bottom lane where his team is actually fighting, because he did TP top, so he can't just like wait for his next TP to be up. He's already running to the bottom. And he's going for Hedger, so his mana boost is going to turn into a mech, into a Guardian Greaves. Very team-oriented items. Now, nobody else on his team is going to go team-oriented items, so he's the one who's going to buy it instead. So here we have Slaughter dying bottom, Face's Void dying bottom. Not much else to do anymore. Gets a nice stun on this Tusk from the vision of the ward. Doesn't die, but he will die after he rolls in. Very nice. You take replay analysis from viewers? Sure. So now he goes back, he smokes up with his team, goes back into the bottom jungle. So as of right now in this game, I feel like Cr1t has always played like either behind someone to camp them or in the enemy jungle, right? He's like played with one of his teammates ready to like counter initiate or play into the enemy jungle, either whether it's bottom jungle or top jungle. Like the top jungle was when he was like making sure the axe can't farm here, and then he played here so he can't farm. Now he's like non-stop running back bottom to like get these kills on the people defending bottom tower, and still trying to secure this bottom tower. And again he TP's back top, preparing for another play in the top lane. Like he's just non-stop playing top, bottom, middle, anywhere where he can find a potential kill. He just keeps rotating around the map. But because he TP'd top lane, ideally his team is actually getting out of the bottom lane but instead the enemy decides to defend bottom once again and die this time. And he's like, alright, well, I guess since I TP top, I can't really walk from top to bottom that fast, so I'm just gonna push top out, get whatever experience I can. So now he's got the level 3 Starstorm, he's got level 4 Arrow, he feels really good, like he's high experience as a position 4 support. And now, imagine this support, like Mirana, like Cr1t never stayed in the lane for a long period of time. Right, all his XP and gold he's got was from like all the collateral creeps from when he's rotating around. When him hitting these creeps is like the first time where he's like truly hitting creeps by himself. But he had to do it because there's nowhere else on the map for him to be at that period in the game. And now his team is like kind of going crazy out of position. And he's just gonna like, okay, oh, I guess I'll just push out the lanes, see if I can arrow someone. It's a nice arrow here, but goes only on the Tusk, but his cores are already dead. Deals bad man. That's okay. Faces Void still free farming bottom. And now the enemy has gone way out of position going into the tier 1 towers, and this is the time where he decides it's a good time to leap in and turn around the fight. The arrow does miss unfortunately, but the Starstorm hits a few heroes. They're very low, but because the arrow doesn't hit there, they don't get any more kills. See his item, he's got the Faded Brooch. Very nice movement speed, mana read, mana good. Here the Faces Void Diffusals follows up with the Sacred Arrow. This entire game for him, ideally, someone like Sara is stunning, or there's a Chrono or a Diffusal, and he can arrow off of that. But if there's no setup, then obviously he'll just arrow wherever they're moving to and try his best doing it. Here he goes behind the enemy positioning, they're going for the cores. He arrows the OD here. Pop dead unfortunately. It's a nice Starstorm out, and because he leaps in, so here you can see like they focusing the OD, right? Instead of running away because the Quap died, they just want to make sure like, okay, at least we can get this like mid killed, right? He leaps in, Starstorms. The second Starstorm always lands the unit next to the Mirana, so they at least get the OD. And here comes the big Faces Void Chrono. Doesn't hit the Monkey King unfortunately, but he still focuses the Monkey King, gets the kill. And here is a really nice play. He just leaps, gets into a better position to be able to cast arrow as well as running away from the monkey. Gets the arrow onto the axe, and they're just gonna die one by one here. That's so nice. Like, you can see how this fight escalated, right? And the way that they were running was towards the Void, right? Like Cr1t here, because his team already died and they're being chased now, he started running towards the Faces Void, so that the enemy and the Cr1t too, so that the enemy would have to end up getting chronoed because they funnel into this little area here. And just like that, they just wiped the entire team, even though that was a really good situation for Radiant where they kill Slaughter and Quap first. And now he just goes bottom, pushes the lane out, gets some more farm, almost has Guardian Greaves completed. This Greaves is going to be really nice to help his team out. And again, when you play support Mirana, don't be greedy. Don't go for like these carry items and stuff, especially when you have like this many cores. Now, if your cores is like Tidehunter and like Lina or something, sure. Those are spellcasters. Tidehunter's already going to buy some aura items. We can buy like maybe some DPS items, but like that's like one in, I don't know, 20 games or something. In most games you play support Mirana, always buy like these aura items. So here, his team is ready to fight again. Faces Void goes in, Chronos, Moonlight Shadow used to get his team into better positions and also not be detected by the enemy if they don't have a dust. And they're just slowly but surely just, you know, pushing up, and now they use the Guardian Greaves, top off his teammates. Everything feels wonderful, and you can see like where they fight. They don't fight on their side of the map. They're trying to fight on the enemy side of the map, and because they fought in the top area, they instantly go into Roshan. So there was probably a call where they're like, guys, stop playing bottom, let's go smoke into the enemy jungle top. So they kill one person, they can just go straight into the Roshan pit. Here they see vision of the Tusk, so they just run to the Tusk. His teammates are getting gone at the same time, and he arrows, instead of arrowing the Tusk and trying to kill the Tusk, he arrows the important target who's Monkey King there. So the monkey can't just attack and kill his heroes. Next arrow in 3 seconds, leaps in for the double Starstorm. That was so nice there. Because the enemy is focusing his course, he can just freely go in like that. So I always talk about this, when you're playing support, it's very important that you don't try to fight the enemy when they're focusing you. You should run. So your cores can focus the enemy. Then when they turn onto your cores, that's the time you want to turn around and start hitting the enemy as a support. Because you're very fragile when you play supports, right? So you don't always want to be the first one to die in the fights too sometimes, because you want to like be able to live and cast another set of spells. Now there are situations where the enemy just chronos you and you just die, and you can't do anything about that. But in situations where you can live by running away, you should do it. Here the Faceless Void casts a chrono with very low HP, but he got a really big chrono out. Here comes Crit. He should cast his Guardian Greaves to help out his Faceless Void, and he does. But at this point in the game, I think the enemy are at their wits' end. They're not sure what to do anymore. Dire's teamfight just became way too strong, and with the Guardian Greaves, it feels like they're just impossible to kill at this point in the game. And you can see his next item he's buying is Solo Crest already. So again, he was top lane, he was cutting the creep wave, but because a fight breaks out, he starts running bottom right away. They're really good items, because you can just throw Solar Crest onto your team, they get attack speed, they get some armor, and Guardian Greaves always be able to heal up your teammates and give them armor too when they become low HP. It's really nice. And just like that, all of a sudden, the Radiant were looking pretty good. For me, the biggest point for Cr1t's gameplay is like, it was his play that screwed up the Monkey King, because the Monkey didn't get a free lane bottom against Slardar. The Monkey actually had a pretty difficult lane, always being low HP and not be able to punish the Slardar, because Cr1t stayed bottom. And secondly, when Cr1t TP top lane at 5 minutes and started chasing the Axe out of their jungle and into their jungle, and even chased them out there as well, while giving Faceless Void free farm and applying pressure to the top tower, those were like game-winning moves, because those moves made it so that this Axe doesn't even have a freaking blade mail 26 minutes in. All of Axe's timings were slowed down. Now this hero needs a lot of good tempo and fast farm in order to be effective, right? Now in lower MMR gameplays, Axes probably have complete free farm, and that's why they own all the time. But you can see when you play against someone like Cr1t, legit rank 1 support player on ladder, and he does moves like this, he's like completely ruining this Axe's game, and thus allowing his team to get ahead. So that was really nice from him. Some things I didn't know was you maxing arrow on Mirana. I guess it's because like the cooldown, the stun duration scales. And secondly, like having which aura items is kind of important too. I think that's kind of like game to game. This game he decided Greaves is good because he got that 900 gold. He bought mana boots right away and it would help his team. I think some games you can just go earn, especially if you fight against heroes like Necrophos and stuff, and you need Vessel. You can also do that on some hero like support Mirana, but it's more about the mentality of like Cr1t and how he moves around the map. It's very nice. Alright, GG. That was a good game actually. I learned quite a bit from this game.